Once upon a time, a very long time ago now, there were two brothers named Jacob and Wilhelm Grimm. They lived in Germany and they loved to travel around meeting people and hearing their stories. They wrote a lot of these stories down and they put them in a book they called Grimm's Fairy Tales. And here are four of our favorites. The first story is called Little Red Cap. There was once a little girl whom everyone loved. You may know her as Little Red Riding Hood, but long ago when this story was first told, she was called Little Red Cap because of a beautiful red velvet cap her grandmother once gave her, which she always wore. Little Red Cap's grandmother lived in the woods, some distance from where Little Red Cap lived with her parents. She was a spry old lady, but a time came when she began to feel poorly, and Little Red Cap and her mother were worried about her. One morning, the day after baking day, Little Red Cap's mother said to her,
"Wouldn't it be nice to take the cake we made to Grandmother and along with a nice bottle of wine?"
Oh yes, that would be very nice. I will take them to her.
Now you listen to me, Little Red Cap. You must be very careful walking through the woods all by yourself. You must stay on the path, walk quietly and quickly, and be careful not to stumble. For if you drop what you're carrying, your poor grandmother will have nothing.
I will be careful, Mother.
And remember, when you arrive, say good morning to Grandmother politely and ask her how she's feeling.
I promise.
And stay on the path.
I will, Mother. Goodbye.
and off she went. In a while, she reached the woods, and remembering what her mother had told her, she walked quickly and quietly along the path. It was not long before she met a wolf, but she had never seen one before and did not know what harm it could do, so she was not afraid. The wolf, noticing her cap, said,
"Good morning, Little Red Cap."
Good morning, sir.
said Little Red Cap, thinking he must be a friendly creature since he knew her name.
"And where are you going on this fine spring day?"
To my grandmother's.
"Ah, and what is it you are carrying? Some nice goodie for her all morning."
Yes. My mother and I made cake yesterday, so I'm taking it to grandmother along with a bottle of wine. She has been feeling poorly.
"Lucky grandmother."
said the wolf, thinking how tender Little Red Cap looked and what a delicious snack she would make.
"And where does your grandmother live?"
He asked craftily, for the path through the forest was well traveled and anyone could come along at any moment.
Oh, you go straight along the path until you get to the little grove of nut trees, and then grandmother lives in the little house under the 3 big oaks.
Well, well, it happens that I am going that way myself. May I walk with you?"
Yes.
Said Little Red Cap, for she did not think her mother would mind that. But after a time, the wolf, seeing he was just as far from getting what he wanted as when he had started, and feeling hungry enough even to eat the old grandmother, said,
"Oh, look, Little Red Cap. Look at those lovely flowers just off the path, and listen to the birds. Oh, how can you walk so solemnly, as if you're going? How can you walk so quickly along the path, as if you're going to school, instead of walking in the woods on a lovely spring day? Look at the flowers. See how they dance on the wind."
Little Red Cap looked around and saw the sun shining through the trees and flowers of all colors growing all around.
Oh, yes. How pretty it all is.
"Does your grandmother not like flowers? Would you not like to pick some to take to her?"
I would.
Said Little Red Cap, thinking that surely it would not be wrong to go off the path just a little, especially if she were careful not to stumble. And so she went just 2 steps to the side to pick a daisy that grew there in the sun, and then 3 steps further, for there was a lovely patch of violets, and then a few more steps, for surely that was a mayflower just under that tree. And so she went from patch to patch of woodland flowers, never noticing how far she had strayed from the path, or that the wolf was no longer waiting for her. The wolf, indeed, had gone on ahead to grandmother's, where he knocked at the door.
It is I, Grandmother, Little Red Cap. I have some cake and some wine for you. Will you let me in?
Just lift the latch, child, for I cannot get out of bed.
So the wolf lifted the latch and leapt in and ate the grandmother in one go. Then he put on a frilly nightcap and sat up in her bed. By then, Little Red Cap had found her way back to the path, and with her bouquet of flowers added to the cake and the wine, came up to grandmother's door and knocked.
Yep.
Yes? Who's there?
It is I, Grandmother. I have some cake and some wine for you. Would you open the door?
Lift the latch, child, for I cannot get out of bed.
So Little Red Cap lifted the latch, and remembering what her mother had told her, she said,
Good morning, Grandmother. How are you feeling?
she set the basket with the cake and the wine down, and then she went up to her grandmother's bed. But all she could see of her were 2 ears poking up under the frilly nightcap, and 2 huge eyes, and what seemed to be 2 hands right under the top coverlet.
Oh, Grandmother, you look so odd. What big ears you have.
Better to hear you with, Little Red Cap.
But what big eyes you have, Grandmother.
Better to see you with, Little Red Cap.
But what big hairy hands you have, Grandmother.
The better to hug you with, Little Red Cap.
But Grandmother, what big teeth you have.
The better to eat you with.
Cried the wolf, and he jumped up and swallowed Little Red Cap whole. Having finished such a large meal, the wolf now felt sleepy and decided he might as well stay where he was. So he pulled up the covers and soon was asleep, snoring more loudly than Little Red Cap's grandmother had ever snored. A hunter came passing by the house and said,
Good heavens! I wonder what could be wrong with the old woman. She must be ill indeed to be snoring so loudly. And just look, her door is wide open.
and so he went inside.
Hello, mistress. Are you all right?
But there was no answer. So he went to the bed, and then, seeing a bit of gray fur, he pulled down the covers and found the wolf.
So it is
He
you!
cried, for he had hunted the very same wolf for many a weary month. And he lifted his gun, took aim, and shot the wolf dead.
Bang!
But then a small sound from the wolf's stomach reached his ears, and the hunter quickly seized the grandmother's sewing scissors and cut him open.
Snip, snip! Snip, snip, snip!
Out popped Little Red Cap, saying,
Oh my goodness! Yuck! Oh, thank you, Mr. Hunter. It was so dark and stuffy inside the wolf.
And then, a moment later, out came Little Red Cap's grandmother, slowly, for she was still weak, and she thanked the hunter also. Then they all celebrated by having some of the cake and the wine. But the hunter and Little Red Cap let the grandmother have most of it, and she soon felt much better.
Well,
Said Little Red Cap to herself as the kind hunter walked her home.
Mother was right about staying on the path. I will never go off it again.
And she never did. Our next story is called The Frog Prince. Long ago, when wishes often came true, there lived a king who had a beautiful daughter named Stella. Near the royal castle was a shady forest, and in the forest was a well. On hot days, the princess would go into the forest and sit by the cool well. If she got bored of sitting, she would take out her favorite golden ball and throw it up in the air and catch it again. One day, as she was playing with the ball, she failed to catch it, and it rolled into the well and sank out of sight into the deep water. Then she began to weep, for she knew she would never be able to get it back. And as she was crying, she heard a voice saying to her,
Princess Stella, why do you weep so? Your tears could melt a heart of stone.
Huh? Oh, it is you, old Wazzer. I'm crying because my favorite golden ball has fallen into the well.
Oh, don't cry. I can help you. But what will you do for me in return?
Anything you want, dear frog. Gold, pearls, jewels, anything you need.
Oh, I care little for those sorts of things. But if you would love me and have me as your playfellow and companion, and let me sit by you at the dinner table and eat off your plate and sleep in your bed. Yes, if you would offer me all of this, then I would jump into the well and get you your favorite golden ball.
All right.
So the frog dove down deep into the well and soon came back up with the ball and threw it to the princess, who caught it and joyfully ran home to the castle.
Stop! If you ever take me with you, I cannot run as fast as you!
But it was no use. For croak after croak, she would not listen to him, but ran quickly home and very soon forgot about the helpful frog, who sank down into the water again. The next day, when the princess was having dinner with the king and eating off her golden plate, there came something pitter-patter up the marble stairs, and then there came a knocking at the door and a voice calling,
Stella! Let me in!
So she got up and ran to see who it might be. But when she opened the door, there was the frog sitting outside.
Ew!
She then slammed the door in the frog's face and ran back to the dining room, feeling very uneasy. The king noticed how quickly her heart was beating and asked,
My child, what are you afraid of? Is the ogre from next door pestering you again?
Oh no, not the ogre, just a big, horrid frog.
And what does he want, kitten?
Oh, Daddy, when I was out by the well yesterday, I was playing with my favorite golden ball, but then it fell into the water, and the frog got it back from me on condition that I would let him be my companion, but I never thought that he would leave the water and come after me.
Then they heard him knocking the second time and crying,
Now, Stella, a princess must always keep her promises. Now go and let him in.
So she went and opened the door, and the frog hopped in, following at her heels, till he reached her chair.
Pick me up so that I may sit by you.
But she delayed doing so until the king ordered her. Once the frog was on the chair, he wanted to get on the table, and there he sat.
Now push me your golden plate so that we may eat together.
She did so, but every morsel she tried to eat seemed to stick in her throat.
Oh, yes, that was delicious. I couldn't eat another bite. Oh, but now I'm tired. Pick me up and take me to your room so that we may sleep.
The princess began to weep at the thought of sleeping with a cold and ugly frog. This made the king angry.
Now, Stella, a promise is a promise. Now pick him up and take him to your bed. Good night.
So she picked up the frog with her finger and thumb, carried him upstairs, and put him in a corner.
Now, kiss me good night.
No!
Tell your father if you don't.
All right, but just this once. Ew! 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 Who are you? Where's the frog?
The prince then explained that he had been put under a spell by a wicked witch, and that only a kiss from a beautiful princess could change him from a frog back into a prince.
But what about your flippers?
What flippers?
Ew!
And they lived happily ever after. is called The Bremen Town Musicians. Not very far from Bremen in Germany, there was a farmer's donkey whose job for years had been to carry his master's corn to the mill to be made into meal. But when the donkey grew old, his back swayed and his steps slowed, though he tried as hard as ever to help his master. One day the donkey heard his master say to his wife,
How sad it is that I must take my favorite animal, the donkey, out to pasture. The only wonderful thing about it anymore is its strong bray. I guess I'm gonna have to find me another critter to take my corn to the mill. It's so sad.
well, the donkey did not want to leave his master, but he did not want to go out to pasture either, for there was nothing to do there but eat grass all day long.
He called my bray wonderful and said it was still strong. So I shall journey to Bremen and hire myself out as a town musician.
And so one bright morning, when it was still summer, the donkey set out. It was not long before he met a hound lying beside the road, panting and gasping as if he could not catch his breath.
What is the trouble, friend?
The donkey asked, for he was a friendly beast who enjoyed company.
Oh, me. I used to be a hunting dog, but this morning my master said I was too old to hunt and must be put to sleep. Without thinking I ran away, but now I fear I will not be able to find food or earn my keep.
Well, what good fortune for us both. I myself am in the same situation, and I'm going to Bremen to become a town musician. If you are a hunting dog, you must have bayed with your pack when you're on the trail of a fox or a rabbit. Is that so?
It is so. In fact, I think I can manage still.
So saying, he raised his nose to the sky and bayed in such fine voice that the donkey added his own. And for a while, there was such music along the road that the stones shook and the trees trembled.
Truly marvelous. I'm sure they'll pay us well to sing duets.
So off they went along the road to Bremen. Soon the donkey, who was taller, said,
What is that, brother, in the road?
A cat, I do believe. Let us proceed cautiously.
And sure enough, in a while they came to a cat, sitting in the road nervously washing his face.
Friend, are you lost or merely resting?
A little of both, but most of all, I am uncertain. As you can see, I'm no longer a kitten. In fact, I dare say I'm now going through most of my 9 lives. My eyes are not what they were, nor my teeth, nor my claws. What I like best to do is to sit by the fire and dream, but my mistress says a cat who does not chase after mice does not earn his keep. And so, here I am, but what's next, that I cannot answer.
Well, you should come with us to Bremen, where we are to be town musicians.
Well, I'm fine with you, but for a pen.
Oh, don't bother about me, for heaven's sake. I am far too old to chase cats, and you are too old to run away. If I might let you in on a little secret, that's what us dogs like best about chasing cats. Besides, I am done with all kinds of hunting.
I've never known a cat who did not sing to the moon. I'm sure you would add a fine treble to my bass and the hound's baritone.
Modestly, the cat stretched his neck and gave them a few sample scales. And soon all three were trotting merrily along the road to Bremen. In a while, they approached the outskirts of the city, and they came to a farm, on the gate of which sat a rooster, crowing as if greeting the dawn.
What an aria! What operas you could sing, my friend. But tell us, why do you crow so loudly now that the sun is beginning to set, instead of saving your song for the morning?
Well, this is my last chance. Company's coming over for tomorrow's dinner, and the farmer's wife is planning on putting me in a suit.
Dear me, this is the worst yet. Truly, this is a world in which no animal is safe. You must come with us, friend Rooster, for we are going to Bremen to be town musicians, and it is clear that you have the best voice of us all.
Well, I will come, for anything's better than what's been planned for me.
And off they all went down the road as the sun began to set.
Friends, I am growing footsore, and I cannot see in the dark as some of you can. I would like to suggest we stop for the night. As you can see, there is a wood across the road where we may safely seek shelter among the trees.
A fine plan. Then we will arrive in Bremen fresh tomorrow, and in good voice.
The cat and the hound agreed, so the four friends went a little way into the wood and settled themselves down for the night.
I will keep watch, for I am highest, and I will crow if anything should happen.
Very good, brother.
Fine, fine. Good night.
Sleep well, everybody.
But the rooster, ever watchful, looked around on all four sides, and when the sky was quite dark, he saw a little light not far in the distance. At the same time, it began to rain, so the rooster crowed mightily, waking the others, and said,
Friends, as you can see, it is raining, but there is a light shining through the trees not far from here. Perhaps it is a house where we can seek shelter.
Very good plan. I say we should make haste.
I agree.
It did not take them long to arrive at the spot where the light was, and it was indeed coming from a house. The donkey, since he was the tallest, went to the window and, putting his front hooves on the sill, looked in.
What do you see?
I see a table with a cloth with bread and meat and apples on it. And around the table I see rough men dressed as robbers. And nearby I see many great sacks of gold and jewels.
Well, that meat sounds pretty good to me. But I never did see much use in gold or jewels.
Nor did I, but I'm quite worried about me.
Well, I can reduce that bread to crumbs in no time.
And there's nothing dearer to my heart than a ripe, red, juicy apple. The gold and jewels we could give to the townspeople, but how are we to get in? And what are we to do with the robbers?
The animals moved a little way off and discussed what they should do, and at last they thought of a plan.
If we are to be musicians, it's a fine time to practice.
So the donkey stood under the window, again with his front hooves upon the sill. The hound jumped onto his back, and the cat jumped onto the hound. And the rooster flew up and sat on the cat's head, without hesitation this time, for by now he knew that the cat meant him no harm.
And the one, and the two, and the three.
Help us! What is that? We must flee!
And so the robbers burst out the door and fled into the woods. The four friends, laughing heartily, went inside and fell to with gusto. And for a while there was no sound save their happy munching, gnawing, picking, and laughing.
What a concert!
What a meal!
said the hound, and then they extinguished the lights and went to bed. When the robbers saw that all was dark and quiet in their house, their courage, such as it was, began to return.
We were foolish to run. Go on, Hans. You go back and see what's what.
Slowly, the robber named Hans crept back, keeping to the edges of the yard until he was sure all was still and the house was truly empty. Stealthily, he went in the door, waking the cat, who opened his eyes. But Hans thought the cat's glowing eyes were two live coals in the fireplace, so he bent down to blow them into flame again. Whereupon the cat, whose tail he had stepped on, leapt into his face, spitting and scratching. Hans fled in terror out the door, tripping over the hound, who bit his leg. And as he ran into the yard, he woke the donkey, who kicked him smartly with his hind foot. At that, the rooster awoke and began his aria again, the chorus of which was repeated many times over. Hans lost no time in running back to the woods.
Okay, we can never go back again. My house was taken over by witches and monsters.
Oh!
Sitting by the house, a terrible old witch who spat at me and scratched my face with nails and shot us where his cat's clothes. Got the doors, a sorcerer with a knife, which he sank into my leg in several places.
He did what?
Which he sank into my leg in several slices.
Where'd she come from?
In the yard and on the roof are horrible monsters. The one in the yard is enormous with huge pointed ears. He beat me with a stout club.
Oh!
The one on the roof yelled, "That one's a robber too. You know what to do."
Oh, you have done well, Hans! We are clearly lucky to be out of there with our lives. You know what we got to do, don't you?
What?
We gotta scoot, we gotta scram, we gotta skedaddle. Come on, let's go find us another house.
And so the robbers went far away, to another city in fact. But the Bremen town musicians stayed on, living and singing joyfully till the end of their days. In fact, they became quite famous, as you can tell from this story, which has been told many times in many places. Our last story is called The Fisherman and His Wife. Once upon a time, there was a fisherman who lived with his wife in a dirty hovel near the sea. Every day, the fisherman went out to fish, and all he did was fish and fish. One day, he was fishing and gazing into the clear water, and all he did was gaze and gaze. Suddenly, his line sank deep down to the bottom,
Hey, hors d'oeuvres.
and when he pulled it up,
Oh, well, look.
he had a large flounder on the line.
All right. Tell you what, kid, let me go.
What are you?
What am I? I'm a magic fish.
No kidding.
Yeah, in fact, I'm an enchanted prince. Of course, you could probably tell that by looking at me. Tell you what, kid, you wouldn't want me in your mouth anyways. I'm too bony.
Oh, you don't have to waste words with me. I'd let a talking fish go any day.
I appreciate that. Hey, I tell you what, kid, I like you. You ever need anything at all, just give me a call. Here's my card.
Thank you.
He then let the fish swim back into the clear water. Then the fisherman went to the hovel to be with his wife.
Husband, didn't you catch anything today?
Well, no, I caught this giant flounder, but he told me he was an enchanted prince, so I let him go. He gave me his card, though.
Didn't you wish for anything?
No, what should I wish for?
Don't you think it's awful that we have to keep living in such a hovel? It stinks and it's disgusting. You should have wished for a little cottage. Go back and call him and tell him we want a little cottage. I'm sure he'll give us one.
Why should we want a cottage? I don't want to ask him that.
Why not? Look, you caught him and let him go, and that's why he's bound to give us one. Now go at once.
The man really did not want to go, but neither did he want to oppose his wife. So he went back to the sea. When he got there, the sea was very green and yellow and no longer so clear. He stood on the shore and said,
Flounder, flounder in the sea, if you're a man, then speak to me. Though I care not for my wife's request, I've come to ask it nonetheless.
Oh, the shark babe has such teeth, dear, and it shows them pearly whites. Hey, how's it going, kid? What can I do for you?
Well, Mr. Flounder, I'm sorry to bother you so soon, but you see, it's my wife. She says that since I caught you and let you go, that I should have wished for something, and since she doesn't want to live in a dirty little hovel, she would like a nice clean cottage.
Cottage?
Yeah.
I tell you what, kid, I like you. Go home, it's all taken care of.
Thank you.
No problem.
When the fisherman arrived at home, his wife was no longer sitting in a hovel. Instead, she was standing before the door to a little cottage.
Wow!
His wife took him by the hand and said,
Come inside, husband. Look, isn't this better?
They went inside, and in the house he found a little hallway, a splendid parlor, and a bedroom. There was also a kitchen and a pantry furnished with all the best dishware and utensils, tinware and brass, everything that one could possibly need. Behind the cottage was a little yard with chickens and ducks and a garden with vegetables and fruit.
You see, isn't this nice?
Oh, yes. Now we can live in a nice, clean cottage and live happily ever after.
We'll have to think about that.
Thereupon, they had something to eat and went to bed. Everything went well for about a week or two, and then the wife said,
Listen, husband, the cottage is much too cramped, and the yard and the garden are too small. The flounder could have given us a larger house. Go back and call him. See, I have always wanted to live in a great stone castle. Go to the flounder and tell him to give us a castle. I'm sure he'll give us one.
Wife, why do we want to live in a stone castle? The cottage is good enough.
Oh, just go. The flounder could do this without any trouble.
No, I don't want to go back so soon. He might get insulting.
The flounder can easily do it, and he'll be glad to do it. Now go there at once.
The husband's heart grew heavy and he did not want to go. He said to himself,
It's just not right.
Nevertheless, he went. When he got to the sea, the water was purple, dark blue, gray, and dense. It was no longer green and yellow, though it was still calm. Then he stood there and said,
Flounder, flounder in the sea, if you're a man, then speak to me. Though I care not for my wife's request, I've come to ask it nonetheless.
When the squid hits you right like a big octopi, that's some more ale. Hey, hi kid, how's it going? What can I do for you? Hey, make it snappy. I'm in the middle of a Shiners convention.
Sorry to bother you again so soon, Mr. Flounder, but see, it's my wife. She's not satisfied with the cottage. Now she wants a great stone castle.
Great stone castle?
Yeah.
Boy, she got you brim-pecked. Oh, okay, go home, kid. You got your castle.
Thank you.
What will the dame think of next?
The man went back, thinking he was going home, but as he approached the spot where the house had been, he found a great stone castle, and his wife was standing on the steps, just about to enter. She took him by the hand and said,
Come inside.
he went in with her and found a big front hall with a marble floor and numerous servants who opened the large doors for them.
Thank you.
The walls were all bright and covered with beautiful tapestries. All of the chairs and tables in the rooms were made of gold. Crystal chandeliers hung from the ceilings, and all the rooms and chambers had carpets. Furthermore, the tables sagged under the weight of food and bottles of the very best wine. Behind the castle was a huge yard with stables for horses and cows and the finest carriages. There was also a wonderful large garden with the most beautiful flowers and fine fruit trees.
You see, isn't this beautiful?
Oh, yes. Now we can live in a great stone castle and be content. Let's keep it that way.
We'll have to think about that and sleep on it.
Then they went to bed. The next morning, the wife woke up first. It was just daybreak, and from her window she could see the glorious countryside lying before her. As her husband began stretching, she poked him in the side with her elbow and said,
Husband, wake up and look out the window. Listen, don't you think you could be king over all this country? Go back to the flounder and tell him we want to be king.
Oh, wife, why should we want to be king? I don't want to be king.
You may not want to be king, but I do. Go to the flounder and tell him I want to be king.
Why do you want to be king? I don't want to ask him that.
Why not? The flounder can do this easily. You need to go there at once and tell him I must be king.
The husband went, but was most distressed that his wife wanted to be king.
It's not right. It's just not right.
He thought, and he did not want to go, but went just the same. When he got to the sea, it was completely gray and black, and the water was twisting and turning from below and smelled putrid. The fisherman stood there and said,
Flounder, flounder in the sea, if you're a man, then speak to me. Though I care not for my wife's request, I've come to ask it nonetheless.
Well, what does she want now, kid?
She wants to be king.
King?
Yeah.
She's riding a jubilee like a pile of fish. What's that putrid stink?
Huh?
I thought I smelled something crappy. All right, kid, go home. I'll take care of it this time. Hey, but remember, this is not right. This is just not right.
I know.
Then the man went home, and as he approached the castle, he saw that it had become much larger, with a huge tower and glistening ornaments on it. When he entered the palace, he found that everything was made of pure marble and gold, and he could see his wife was king. And on her head she had a big golden crown, and in her hand a scepter of pure gold and jewels. The fisherman stepped forward and said,
Wife, now you're king, aren't you?
Yes, now I am king.
He stood there and looked at her, and after he had gazed at her for some time, he said,
It's wonderful that you're king. Now let's keep it that way and not ask for anything else.
No, husband. I have too much time on my hands and I can't stand it anymore. Go to the flounder and tell him I am king, but now I must become emperor as well.
Wife, why do you want to be emperor?
Go to the flounder and tell him I must be emperor.
No, I don't want to ask him that. There's only one emperor in the empire. The flounder can't make you emperor. He definitely can't do that.
What? I'm king, and you are just my husband, and I want you to do as I say. If he can make a king, he can also make an emperor. Go there at once.
The husband had to return, but as he walked along, he became scared and thought to himself,
Such arrogance to want to be emperor. The flounder's going to get sick and tired of this.
When he got to the sea, it was all black and dense. He began to below, so that bubbles rose up, and a strong wind whipped across the surface and made the water curdle. The man became frightened, but he stepped forward and said,
Flounder, flounder in the sea, if you're a man, then speak to me. Though I cannot for my wife's request, I've come to ask it nonetheless.
I'm getting sick and tired of this kid. Well, what does she want this time?
She wants to be emperor.
Emperor? Oh, now she's coming up with this stuff just for the halibut. Okay, fine. I'll make you emperor. Go, 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 and don't come back again.
I'll try not to.
That broad is beginning to get on my nerves.
Then the man went home, and when he arrived, the entire castle was made of polished marble with alabaster figures and golden ornaments. Barons, counts, and dukes were inside the palace walking around like servants. As he entered, he saw his wife wearing a golden crown 3 times as large as the one before. Her husband stepped up and said,
Oh, wife, now you're emperor, aren't you?
Yes, I am emperor.
Then he stood there and took a good look at her, and after gazing at her for some time, he said,
Oh, wife, it's wonderful that you're emperor. Now let's keep it that way and not ask for anything else.
Husband, why are you standing there? It is true that I am emperor, but now I want to be pope as well. Go and tell the founder.
Oh, wife, why do you want to be pope? There's only one pope in all of Christendom. The flounder can't make you pope. He definitely can't do that.
Go to the flounder and tell him I must be pope.
What in heaven's name don't you want? I can't ask the flounder that.
Stop talking nonsense. If he can make an emperor, he can also make me pope. I am the emperor, and you are just my husband. I want you to go there at once, and I mean at once! Tell him I must become pope.
The man became frightened and went, but he felt rather queasy. He was trembling and shaking, and his knees began to wobble. A strong wind swept across the land. Dark clouds flew by as evening came. Leaves were falling from the trees, and the sea rose up in waves and roared as if it were boiling, and the waves splashed against the shore. In the distance, the fishermen could see ships firing guns in distress as they were tossed up and down by the waves. Though there was still a little blue in the middle of the sky, the horizon was completely red, as if a heavy thunderstorm were coming. Then he stepped forward, filled with fear and dread, and said,
Flounder, flounder in the sea, if you're a man, then speak to me. Though I care not for my wife's request, I've come to ask it nonetheless.
Why do you keep coming back to me, kid? Huh? What are you? Out of herring? Well, what does she want this time?
Oh, Mr. Flounder, she wants to be pope.
Pope!
Yeah!
Pope!
Yeah!
Pope!
Yeah!
Holy mackerel! Say, kid, you look kind of queasy. Okay, go home. I'll make a pope. Pope? What do I care? I'm a Mennonite myself.
Then the man went home, and when he arrived, he found a great church. He forced his way through crowds of people and found every thing inside illuminated by thousands and thousands of candles. Numerous bishops and priests were standing around his wife, and all the emperors and kings were taking their turn, kneeling before her and kissing her slipper.
Wife, now you're pope, aren't you?
Yes, now I am pope.
Then he stepped forward and took a good look at her, and it was as if he were looking into the bright sun. After gazing at her for some time, he said,
Oh, wife, it's wonderful that you're pope. Now let's not ask for anything else. You can't be anything greater.
but she sat stiff as a board and neither stirred nor moved. Then he said,
Oh, wife, be content and stay pope.
I'll think about it.
Then they both went to bed. But she was not satisfied, and her ambition did not let her sleep. She kept thinking of ways she might become greater than she was, while her husband slept soundly, for he had run around a good deal that day. She could not get to sleep at all, and tossed and turned from side to side the whole night, trying to think of ways she might become greater than she was. However, nothing whatsoever occurred to her. When the sun began to rise and she saw the red glow of the dawn, she sat up in bed and watched the sunrise from her window. Then the thought occurred to her.
Aha! I could make the sun and the moon rise.
She poked her husband in the ribs with her elbow and said,
Husband, wake up and go to the flounder. Tell him I want to be like God.
The husband was still half asleep, but he was so shocked by what she had said that he almost fell out of the bed. He thought that he had misheard her and rubbed his eyes.
Oh, wife, what did you say?
Husband, if I can't make the sun and the moon rise, I won't be able to bear it. Do you think I want to just watch? No! I won't have any peace until I myself can make them rise.
She gave her husband such an awful look that a shudder ran through his bones.
Oh, wife, he can't make you like God. He can't do that. He can make you emperor and pope, but I beg you, stay content and be pope.
She immediately became furious, and her hair flew wildly about her head. She gave him a kick with her foot and screamed,
I can't stand it anymore, and I won't stand it. I want you to go there at once. Tell him I must be like God.
He then ran off like a madman. Outside, a great storm was raging, so he could barely keep on his feet. Houses and trees were falling, mountains were trembling, and large boulders were rolling into the sea from the cliffs. The sky was completely pitch black, and there was thunder and lightning. Black waves rose up in the sea as high as church steeples and mountains, and they all had crests of white foam on top. Then the fisherman screamed, but he could not even hear his own words.
I'm the flounder in the sea. If you're a man, then speak to me. Though I cannot for my wife's request, I come to ask it nonetheless.
Well, slow down, kid! You make it quick, we're trying to spawn here. Keep your fins warm, my little cuttlefish. I'm on my way.
Oh, Mr. Flounder, you're not going to believe this, but my wife wants to be like God.
Like God? I can't do that, kid. That's asking too much. Hey, everything's back to the way it was.
So he went back, and there, in their dirty hovel, they are still living this very day.
Husband,
No, wife.
We'll have to think about it.
Thank you.